The awakening. Humanity had always believed that the stars would welcome them. They were wrong. The colony on Europa went dark first. 30,000 souls, scientists and miners mostly, their signals cutting out mid-transmission. Earth Command dismissed it as equipment failure, solar flares, perhaps, or damaged relay stations. But when Callisto fell silent 12 hours later, and then the mining operations on Titan, the truth became impossible to ignore. We were under attack. Admiral Helena Chen stood before the Emergency Council, her weathered face illuminated by the harsh light of holographic displays. The images they showed were apocalyptic: orbital bombardments reducing human settlements to smoldering craters, alien ships methodically eradicating every trace of human existence from the outer colonies. "The Vorax," she said, her voice steady despite the horror displayed behind her. "A species we've had minimal contact with. No diplomatic tensions, no territorial disputes. They simply decided we needed to be exterminated." Counselor Abernathy rubbed his temples. "Our military response? Inadequate," Chen replied bluntly. "Our fleets are scattered, defensive perimeters breached. At current trajectory, they'll reach Earth in 8 days." The room fell silent. Earth, with its 12 billion inhabitants, had no defense strong enough to repel what was coming. "There is one option," Chen finally said. The holographic display shifted to show a facility embedded deep within Antarctica's ice, Project Prometheus. Several council members tensed visibly. The classified project was something most had only heard whispers about, a forbidden contingency. That program was shut down years ago. Councillor Rivera objected. For good reason. The program was placed in stasis, Chen corrected, not terminated. They're still there, waiting. The they she referred to weren't weapons or ships. They were people, or what remained of people after science had pushed human evolution beyond its natural limits. Super soldiers engineered and enhanced to levels previously thought impossible, augmented with technology, genetics, and neural modifications deemed too dangerous for deployment. Those individuals were deemed psychologically unsuitable for reintegration. Abernathy said carefully. "Unstable. Lethal." Chen nodded. "Yes, and now we need lethal." 27 kilometers beneath Antarctica's surface, in a facility carved from the ancient ice and reinforced with composites stronger than steel, the temperature began to rise. Systems dormant for decades hummed to life, cryopods cycling through reanimation sequences. The first to wake was Commander Ilara Voss. Her eyes snapped open, unnaturally bright gold irises adjusting instantly to the dim light. She didn't gasp or struggle as others might after years in cryostasis. Her enhanced physiology transitioned smoothly from suspended animation to full consciousness in seconds. The AI voice was clinically precise. "Prometheus protocol activated. Threat level. Extinction. Full authorization granted." Ilara sat up, unplugging nutrient lines from her arms. She flexed her fingers, carbon-reinforced bones beneath skin laced with subdermal armor. Nearby pods were warming up, frost melting off their transparent covers. "Status report," she demanded, her voice slightly raspy from disuse. The AI responded immediately. "Colonial massacres in progress. 7 settlements destroyed. Hostile alien force designated Vorax approaching Sol system. Projected Earth arrival. 192 hours." Ilara nodded as she stood, her naked body covered in a network of fine scars and enhancement nodes. "Wake them all." Around her, 39 other pods began their final reanimation cycles. Captain Marcus Thorne was the second to wake, dark skin glistening with melted frost as his pod opened. His pupils contracted to pinpoints, cybernetic implants recalibrating behind his eyes. "They finally need their monsters," he said, voice a deep rumble. Ilara didn't disagree. That's what they were, the things humanity created when they were truly afraid, then locked away when that fear subsided. Enhanced strength, speed, and reflexes were just the baseline. Each of them had specialized modifications, some obvious, others hidden beneath skin and skull. Within an hour, the entire Prometheus unit was assembled in the briefing chamber. 40 men and women of diverse backgrounds united by one thing. They had all been transformed into something beyond human, weapons shaped like people. Admiral Chen's hologram flickered before them. "Commander Voss, your team has been reactivated under Emergency Protocol 7. All restrictions have been lifted." Ilara's expression remained neutral. "Rules of engagement? None. You are authorized to use any means necessary to ensure human survival." The corner of Ilara's mouth curved slightly upward, not quite a smile. "Understood." As the briefing continued, Lieutenant Diana Reyes studied the tactical displays, her neurally enhanced mind calculating trajectories and probabilities faster than any standard computer. The silver circuitry visible at her temples pulsed with activity. "Their attack pattern is methodical," she observed. "They're thorough, ensuring complete eradication before moving to the next target." "Psychological warfare," added Major Ezekiel Ward, his voice distorted through the respirator that replaced the lower half of his face. The chemical warfare specialist's lungs had been replaced with synthetic alternatives that could process toxins as easily as oxygen. "They want us to watch, to know we're next." Ilara studied the enemy formations. "Then we'll send our own message." Within 12 hours, the Prometheus team was deployed. Their ship, a stealth destroyer named Nemesis, had been waiting alongside them in stasis, a vessel designed specifically for their capabilities. Its systems interfaced directly with their neural enhancements, making it less a vehicle and more an extension of themselves. Their target, the Vorax fleet currently stripping the Ganymede research base to ruins. As the Nemesis cut silently through space, Ilara moved through the ship, checking on her team. In the armory, she found Thorn calibrating his customized pulse cannon. "Having second thoughts about being awake?" she asked. He snorted. "About saving the species that locked us away? Maybe." He clicked the final component of his weapon into place. "But I've been dreaming of killing something for a long time." Elsewhere, Diana Rice, and demolitions expert Shen Wei prepared specialized charges designed to maximize damage against the Vorax ships, while biologics specialist Dr. Amara Okafor synthesized compounds based on the limited data they had on Vorax physiology. "Their cellular structure is fascinating," Amara said, not looking up from her microscope. The implants along her spine glowed faintly through her uniform, highly adaptive but vulnerable to specific resonance frequencies. Ilara nodded. "Make it hurt." The Nemesis approached Ganymede under complete stealth, its advanced systems rendering it invisible to Vorax sensors. From the command deck, Ilara watched the enemy ships. Insectoid in design, their hulls covered in what appeared to be overlapping plates of some biomechanical material. 5 capital ships, 19 support vessels, reported Diana. Approximately 12,000 Vorax troops. "And 40 of us," said Marcus with a grim smile. "Hardly seems fair for them." Ilara activated the ship-wide comm. "We are humanity's response. Not diplomats, not peacekeepers. We are the consequence of their mistake." She paused, looking at the dead human colony below. No survivors, no prisoners, no mercy. Just like they showed us. The Nemesis struck without warning. Before the Vorax could react, precision charges detonated along the hulls of 3 support vessels, breaching their atmospheres and sending crews tumbling into the vacuum of space. As alarms blared across the enemy fleet, the Prometheus team launched their assault. What followed wasn't a battle, it was a slaughter. Ilara led the first boarding party onto the largest Vorax ship, moving with inhuman speed through its corridors. The aliens, tall, chitinous beings with multiple limbs, fired energy weapons that her team easily evaded. When they engaged in close quarters, the difference became even more pronounced. Ilara moved like water between Vorax soldiers, her enhanced muscles and neural reflexes making their movements seem sluggish by comparison. Her vibroblade sliced through their armor with ease, black ichor spraying the walls as she carved a path forward. Behind her, Marcus Thorne engaged a group of 8 Vorax warriors simultaneously, his reinforced body absorbing hits that would kill an ordinary human as he systematically dismantled them with brutal efficiency. In another section, Major Ward released a specialized neurotoxin that affected only Vorax biology, leaving dozens convulsing on the deck as he walked calmly through their midst, finishing survivors with precise shots to their neural clusters. Within 40 minutes, the command ship was under their control. Diana Rice interfaced directly with its systems, her neural implants bypassing security measures as she extracted tactical data and transmitted the ship's command codes to the rest of their team. Using the captured codes, they turned the Vorax fleet's weapons against itself. Capital ships fired on their own support vessels, while Prometheus team members strategically placed throughout the fleet ensured maximum damage. 2 hours after the Nemesis arrived, the Vorax fleet that had decimated Ganymede was reduced to drifting wreckage. Of the approximately 12,000 Vorax soldiers and crew, none survived. Standing amid the carnage on the command deck of the ruined Vorax flagship, Elara accessed the ship's communication system. She transmitted footage of the devastation, along with a simple message, directly to the main Vorax fleet still approaching Earth. "You woke the wrong species. We're coming for you next." As the Nemesis departed, leaving the graveyard of ships orbiting Ganymede, Admiral Chen received the after-action report. The council members watched the footage in stunned silence. "My God," Abernathy whispered, "what have we unleashed?" Chen's expression remained impassive. "Our only hope of survival." In the darkness of space, the Nemesis set course for its next target, carrying 40 living weapons who had waited years for this moment. The chance to show the galaxy exactly what humanity was capable of when pushed too far. The Vorax had struck first, but humanity would strike last. The Reckoning. News of the Ganymede counterattack spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Species that had observed the Vorax aggression with calculated neutrality now scrambled to reassess. The footage, deliberately leaked to every major galactic communication hub, showed the systematic destruction of the Vorax fleet by what appeared to be a small team of augmented humans. The message was clear: humanity would not go quietly. On the bridge of the Nemesis, Commander Elara Voss reviewed tactical data as the ship moved at stealth speed toward the primary Vorax fleet. Intelligence extracted from the captured command ship had revealed the Vorax battle strategy, and something even more valuable: the location of their command center. "Interesting," Diana Rice said, her neural implants processing the data streams faster than any normal human could. "The Vorax hive structure is more complex than we thought. The ships we destroyed were merely an advance force." Marcus Thorne cleaned dried Vorax fluid from his combat armor. "So we killed their scouts. The real army is still coming." "Yes," Elara confirmed. "A fleet 3 times larger is 6 days from Earth, and they've adjusted their trajectory to avoid our patrol areas." "They're learning," noted Dr. Amara Okafor from her station, "and based on these communication patterns, they've called for reinforcements." The mood on the bridge shifted. Even for enhanced soldiers like the Prometheus team, the odds were becoming increasingly unfavorable. Major Ward's distorted voice broke the silence. "We have a new message from Earth Command." Admiral Chen's hologram appeared in the center of the bridge. Her expression was grave. "Commander Voss, the Council has reviewed your action at Ganymede." Elara stood straight, face impassive. "Any complaints about our methods?" "On the contrary, you've been authorized to proceed with full operational autonomy. However, there's been a development." Chen's image was replaced by footage of a massive orbital bombardment. "The Vorax have accelerated their timeline. They've destroyed our Mars defense platform and the surrounding settlements. 2 million dead." When Chen's image returned, she continued, "They sent their own message. For every Vorax ship we destroy, they will eliminate an additional human settlement." Elara's golden eyes narrowed slightly, the only visible sign of her anger. "Their mistake. We don't respond well to threats." Once the transmission ended, the command team gathered to reassess their strategy. "Their betting will hesitate," Marcus said, pacing with restless energy. Diana nodded. Standard human psychology would suggest compassion would override tactical necessity. "Good thing we're not standard humans," replied Major Ward, his respirator wheezing slightly as he laughed. Not everyone shared their callousness. Lieutenant Kai Nakamura, their communications specialist, spoke up from his station. "We can't just ignore those threats. They'll kill millions more." Ilara fixed him with an unblinking stare. "The Vorax plan to kill everyone, regardless. Our mission is to ensure they don't succeed. By any means necessary," Kai quoted bitterly. "I remember the propaganda they used when we volunteered for this program. Humanity's ultimate defense. They never mentioned becoming humanity's attack dogs." Tensions that had been simmering beneath the surface began to rise. Despite their enhancements, the Prometheus soldiers remained fundamentally human in their minds. Twisted and transformed, perhaps, but still capable of doubt. "Save the existential crisis for after we win," snapped Shinwei, the team's demolitions expert. The metallic components grafted along his jawline pulsed with irritation. "Or would you prefer we ask the Vorax nicely to stop the genocide?" Before the argument could escalate, Ilara cut in. "Enough. Personal feelings are irrelevant. We have a mission." But as she retreated to her quarters, even Ilara found herself plagued by questions. The reawakening had brought back more than just her physical capabilities. It had reactivated memories, emotions she'd successfully suppressed in cryosleep. She remembered the pain of the enhancement procedures, the psychological conditioning, the gradual separation from her humanity, the faces of her parents, who she'd never been allowed to contact again after entering the program. The glimpse of horror she'd seen in Admiral Chen's eyes when reviewing the Ganymede footage. A soft knock interrupted her thoughts. "Enter," she commanded. Dr. Amara Okafor stepped inside, carrying a data tablet. Unlike the others, whose enhancements were primarily combat-focused, Amara's modifications centered on accelerated cognition and biological analysis. The spiral of silver implants along her spine allowed her to process and synthesize information at unprecedented rates. "I found something in the Vorax data you should see," she said without preamble. The information Amara had discovered was buried deep in the Vorax command codes, references to something called the Human Ascension Project, with timestamps dating back 30 years. "They've been watching us," Amara explained. "Specifically, they've been monitoring our genetic enhancement programs." Ilara's expression darkened. "Project Prometheus, and similar initiatives across Earth's military divisions. The Vorax attack wasn't random. They're eliminating what they perceive as an existential threat, us." The irony wasn't lost on Ilara. The very weapon humanity had created to defend itself had inadvertently triggered the attack they were designed to prevent. "Does the rest of the team know?" Amara shook her head. "Only you and I, for now." "Keep it that way," Ilara ordered. "This changes nothing about our mission, but it changed everything about their understanding of it." 3 days later, the Nemesis intercepted the main Vorax fleet near Saturn's rings. This time, there would be no stealth approach. The Prometheus team had divided into strike forces, each targeting specific weaknesses in the Vorax fleet formation. The battle that followed would later be described in human historical records as the Saturn engagement, a sanitized term for what was essentially a massacre. The enhanced soldiers moved through the Vorax ships like vengeful spirits, their augmented bodies and specialized weapons carving paths of destruction. While Marcus led a frontal assault on the main battleships, creating a distraction with spectacular destructive force, Ilara and a smaller team infiltrated the fleet's command vessel. Their objective wasn't just destruction, it was information. Fighting their way to the central control chamber, they found what Earth's intelligence had suspected existed: a Vorax hive mother, the central intelligence directing the attack on humanity. The creature was massive, its bloated body connected to the ship's systems through a web of biological interfaces, Multiple eyes swiveled toward the human intruders as they breached the chamber. Inevitable, the creature's voice reverberated through translators and their neural implants. You have come as predicted. Ilara approached, vibro-blade ready. Why attack us? We had no quarrel with the Vorax. You are abomination. The Hive Mother responded. Your kind alters its own essence, creates unnatural evolutions. The recordings from your Ganymede response confirmed our assessment. You are too dangerous to exist. So this was preemptive genocide? Ilara asked, her voice cold. Necessary extermination, corrected the Hive Mother. Your enhancements would have eventually led to our destruction. Better to eliminate the threat while contained to your system. Ilara's enhanced mind quickly processed the implications. The Vorax hadn't attacked out of hatred or resources or territory, but fear. Fear of what humanity might become if their enhancement programs continued unchecked. Fear of beings like her. You made one critical error, Ilara said, stepping closer to the massive creature. You should have killed us all at once. Instead, you woke us up. The Hive Mother's multiple limbs twitched. This vessel is already transmitting our encounter to all Vorax worlds. Even if you destroy this fleet, more will come. Your species will be eradicated. Ilara smiled, a cold expression that didn't reach her eyes. That's what the Vorax believe. Let me tell you what humanity believes. She activated her neural transmitter, connecting directly to the creature's communication system. We believe in sending messages. The data package Ilara uploaded contained everything. The location of every Vorax colony, breeding world, and military installation extracted from the ship's database, along with detailed analysis of Vorax weaknesses and a simple message: retreat permanently or face extinction. The Hive Mother's eyes widened as she processed what was happening. This is insurance, Ilara finished, raising her vibro blade. Now let's complete our mission. When the Prometheus team returned to the Nemesis, Saturn's rings were illuminated by the burning remains of the Vorax fleet. Of the 83 ships that had comprised the invasion force, none remained operational. The message and the data package had been sent to every corner of Vorax space. 3 days later, as the Nemesis approached Earth, they received the response: total Vorax withdrawal from human space. The remaining Vorax vessels had reversed course, retreating beyond the Kuiper Belt at maximum speed. Earth celebrated. The Council declared victory. Admiral Chen personally greeted the Prometheus team when they docked. Medals and commendations prepared for the heroes who had saved humanity. But as Ilara stood in the debriefing chamber beneath Antarctica, the same facility where they had been awakened, she knew the truth. The Vorax hadn't retreated out of fear of human military might. They had retreated because 40 enhanced humans had demonstrated the capacity for efficient, merciless elimination of threats, confirming the very fears that had triggered the Vorax attack in the first place. The Council is debating your team's future, Admiral Chen informed her privately after the ceremony. Some want you redeployed as Earth's new defensive vanguard. Others, she hesitated, want us back in cryo, Ilara finished, because we're too dangerous to keep awake in peaceful times. Chen didn't deny it. What would you recommend, Commander? Ilara considered the question carefully. The Prometheus soldiers weren't just weapons. They were people transformed into weapons, carrying the psychological burden of what they had become and what they had done. We were created for war, she said finally, and we've served our purpose. But the galaxy now knows we exist and what we're capable of. Put us back to sleep if you must, but understand this. The next species that threatens Earth won't be acting from ignorance. They'll come prepared to face us. And when that day comes, we'll wake you again, Chen promised. Later, as the Prometheus team prepared for their return to cryostasis, Marcus found Ilara in the observation deck, watching Earth rotate peacefully below. Was it worth it? He asked, standing beside her. All of this, what we became, what we did. Ilara considered the billions of humans continuing their lives below, unaware of how close they had come to extinction, or the price paid by 40 volunteers who had sacrificed their humanity to ensure the species survived. "Ask me in 100 years," she replied, "when we see if they've learned anything." As the cryopods closed around them once more, humanity's sleeping giants returned to their dormant state, nightmares transformed into legends, monsters reshaped as heroes in official records. But the message they had sent would echo across the stars for generations. Threaten humanity, and the monsters will wake again.